Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. We generally like to talk a lot of bollocks, tabletop gaming in general. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a bidding/auction game. We're going to be talking about QE, or quantitative easing. And in this game, you will be bidding a huge, gargantuan lump of dosh, trying to win auctions on company tiles that will give you points that will allow you to win the game. So in this video, we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules, telling you what we do like, we don't like, and we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not QE is worth your time and bother today and in the future. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. We'll see you after this. Bollocks. So QE, how'd you play this game? So quantitative easing is a bidding/auction game. Each player is going to take on the role of investors in a different country around the world. You've got China, you've got the EU, you've got the United States, you've got Japan. What the fuck's the other one? Oh, you've got us. You've got the fucking UK, haven't you? Each player is going to get a bidding card. You're going to get a score sheet with one of those horrible dry erase markers, right? And everybody is going to get an industry token that is going to give them a leg up in one of the 5 different industries that appears in the game, right? So one player is going to become the auctioneer. They will flip over a company tile, and then everybody will simultaneously bid an amount of money and then hand their bid tiles to the auctioneer. There is no limit to the amount that you can bid. You can bid $1 bazillion if you want to, right? But you can't bid negative, and your bid cannot be the same as the auctioneer. The auctioneer's bid is always public knowledge. Everybody else's bid is going to be secret, right? However, there is a variant in the game where in a 5-player game, you can once per game only look at the winning bid, right? So once the auctioneer has received all of the bid tiles from all the other players, they will look to see if there's any 0 bids. If there are, then the players who bid 0 will mark off one of the 2-point icons on their score sheet. Bid 0, you're going to get 2 points, but you can only bid 0 once per round, and a round is when everybody has been the auctioneer once, yeah? So then the auctioneer will then announce who has won the bid. They won't say by how much. They won't let you know the exact amount that they bid. They'll write the winning bid amount on the back of the company tile, and they'll hand both the bid tile and the company tile to the winning bidder. You'll see that each company tile has a number of points. It's got a country allocated to it, and it's got a different type of industry. You've got housing, you've got industry, you've got politics and all that shit, right? So you keep doing this until you run out of company tiles, and then you'll do some final scoring. You'll get victory points for the amounts that is listed on your company tiles, right? You'll add them all up and you'll stick it in the relevant spot. You get 2 points for each 0 bid. You get points for each tile that you won that matches the nation you are. Then you get points for monopolisation. This is how many of the same type of industry you got. So if I've got 4 housing, I'll get 10 victory points, yeah? Then you get points for diversification. This is different types of industries. So if I have 3 different types of industries, I'm going to get 4 victory points. You'll add up your subtotal, and then you'll add up how much you bid on all of your company tiles. The player who spent the least money will get 7 victory points. However, the player that spent the most will be eliminated from the game. They can't win. And then the player with the most points at the end of the game will be the winner of QE. Do we like about QE? So the first thing that we really like about this game is that where there is no upper limit to the amount that you could bid, bids can get absolutely ridiculous, right? And this creates an environment for a barrel of laughs, right? There's nothing more funny than you thinking that you've bid a ridiculous amount and then somebody trumping your bid with an even greater stupid bid, right? Played this the other day and we were getting into the billions of dollars, right? I suppose it does highlight how stupid the financial system is, or was, in 2008. And obviously things haven't really changed that much now because we're still in the shit, right? So I suppose this is an accurate representation of how these fucking merchant bankers acted in 2008. And yeah, it is actually an hilarious game, right? So the second thing that we really like about QE is there's just enough hidden information in the game. When you are the auctioneer, you're at a bit of a disadvantage, right? Because your bid amount is going to be public, and people are going to be bidding against that. They're going to be bidding more than you most of the time, unless they bid 0, of course, right? So whilst you know what the starting bid is, you're going to have to sort of gauge how people are acting in the game. If somebody bids low in the first couple of rounds, are they going to then open the floodgates for billions of dollars in the later rounds? If somebody spunks all their cash up the wall at the beginning of the game, are they going to be acting more conservatively towards the end, right? That's for you to decide. So the final thing, and the thing that makes this game for us, is that the player that spends the most can't win the game. They're eliminated from the game. That is a fantastic twist. You've got unlimited money. You can spend as much as you like, but if you spend too much, you're going to be falling flat on your ass, yeah? And it happens. happens, right? People think that they're being quite frugal with their cash, and it turns out that they've spent a heck of a lot more than the other players. And that comes as a genuine surprise to a lot of people when they play this game, yeah? They overestimate or they underestimate. The skill is trying to walk that tightrope between getting the tiles that you want and not spending too much money, right? Obviously, you get a bonus for spending the least, but those 7 points probably not going to be enough to allow you to win the game, yeah? So this has got like a delicious sort of conundrum. You need to spend to win, but you spend too much, going to fuck up. So what don't we like about QE? So the first thing that we don't like about this game is that it is a real bastard to find in the UK. We had to hunt around the internet for like 100 years, and eventually we found a copy in France. And obviously, what with us picking up in France, the rules were in French, and we had to go to the extreme lengths of printing off the rule book. And the score sheets are in French as well. It's not really a game breaker because it's easily interpreted, and you're not really going to be reading the text anyway. You're just looking at the icons. But it cost a pretty penny to have it shipped over here. I suppose it's worth it in the end. But if it was actually readily available in the UK, it'll be a lot cheaper, right? So the second thing we don't like about this game is that the ink on the dry erase markers tends to rub off when you put the company tiles on the table, right? You're going to have to sort of stack these up so that the ink isn't touching anything. If the bid does rub off, it's going to be very difficult for you to remember what was on like 16 different tiles, yeah? So just be very careful when you are playing this game that you don't rub off dry erase marker stuff, right? So the third thing that we don't like about this game, probably the worst thing in this game, is that if a player identifies the fact that they've already lost the game, if they've gone bust too early, then they do have the option of just bidding stupid money to derail the game at the end, yeah? And if this happens sort of halfway through the game, then the final 7 or so turns are just going to be somebody bidding hundreds of billions while the other players don't get a look in, yeah? And while they've already gone bust, they can't win the game. So there is the opportunity for a scorched earth policy in this game, yeah? And maybe there should have been some rule to stop that from happening, but it's not there, and it can be a problem if you are playing with a bunch of arseholes. So to summarise, is QE worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we are going to say yes, this is a fantastic bidding/auction game with 2 unique twists, right? You can bid an unlimited amount. You can spend as much cash as you want. But as we said numerous times in this review, if you spend too much, you're going to go bust. It does have a minor problem with a scorched earth mentality. If a player thinks that they've spent too much and they're already out of the game, then they can just bid shitloads of cash and keep taking those company tiles, even though they're going to lose, right? And it can be very, very difficult to remember what people have spent to sort of gauge the overall trend in spending. But all that shit aside, this is probably the best auction bidding game that we've played in a very, very long time. And as such, I'd go so far as to say this is an essential addition to your board gaming collection, right? So you go, that is QE. Remember, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. We'll see you next Tuesday.